Oh, yeah, wait for you to get in here. I just made the stream public. Get on in here. Hello, y'all. Reading all of your wonderful comments, wonderful statements. Let me reassure you and remind you. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm not trying to be decisive. I'm not trying to split this thing into something that it's not. I didn't say Ninchi was wrong. In fact, I was quite clear in my statements to a degree, but I understand how things can get misconstrued. Listen, she just didn't do a good enough job for me discrediting. Okay? I'm not saying that it's not Ninchi's right to question everybody. Everybody should be questioning the information. And not one time have I got up here and asked you to just blindly believe any of the information that's coming. I was trying to defuse the situation to a degree. But sometimes people can get under misunderstandings. I don't want you to unsub from Ninchi. I still love listening to Ninchi. And yeah, Ninchi, I do listen to your entire video, even though in my last one I went back and I cut it so fast. I started the first video and I was going to discuss things as they came up, and then decided to take a different route. And it sounded like I wasn't listening because I asked her to show me. And when you know it, in the video, she was trying to show me all of the little points, but I got that at the after the video. So you might be under the false understanding that I didn't watch it at all to begin with. I apologize for that. But listen, I'm just reacting to what's already going on out there. Get on in here. There's no notification going out, so it's going to take a little bit of time for people to roll on in. I need to get a drink. What's going on, little bet? AB, I just discovered you're an electrician, so is my hubby. Now, I knew there was a reason why I could identify with you. Oh, yeah. I mean, I haven't been technically on a job site or involved in the trade since just before, around COVID time. COVID was it, and then I started doing something different in regards to my businesses and doing some trading in that sense. I hadn't gone back, right? I was making more money doing what I was doing, or just as enough, because I'd become a single father in that sense. So it kind of directed my hand at that point in time. It was disappointing. It's not that I'm out of it. I'm thinking about actually going in, and now that my daughter's an adult, now I can go out and do things in a little bit different of a manner and go back out and join the workforce in that sense, should I decide to. I have to make sure to update my license, though. I have to call Skilled Trades Ontario. Oh, shit. I'm not trying to disparage Ninchi. I don't want you to not watch a person. I don't say that about anybody on here. I want to be clear in that sense. There's people in my comments that I'm reading that can't help. And I understand. It's just natural. Because from a viewer's perspective, they like to listen and hear everybody in that sense. But, it goes from Ninchi reacting in a certain way to all of a sudden now that I'm trying to, detract away from anything that she's trying to do or say. It's gone too far. It's going too far in that sense. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't think, where are you, little bet? I don't think the red seal, it used to mean that. I don't think it actually means anything. It just means that you get over 80% on the C of Q in that sense, in the electrical trade. And it used to, back in the 50s and 60s, mean you can work anywhere. In reality, you can take your ticket and go into any province and just pay the dues and let them know, and not to update their system. And you're usually good to go. It's in demand in that sense. It's always evolving and changing in that sense. Back in 2013, they changed the way that they, what do they usually do? They expand. The bureaucracy is ever expanding in that sense, and they rename things. And Oh, this is going to save so much time now. Friends, I encourage you all to go and take in as much information as you can. That's when things get dicey, though. And yeah, there's maybe such a thing as being a little bit too truthful. And there's nothing wrong with the T1000 in that sense. Do you have something against the hearing impaired? Oh, shit. Let's see. Yeah, little bet. Where's your husband? Well, I shouldn't ask that, maybe. Well, what province? Are you in Canada? Let me see. No good deed goes unpunished. Let's get over to this. Oh, that's the Be Right Back. Whoops. Where am I going here? What's going on, Miss K? Dark in here. It's all dark. It was just asked in my comment section, who was that? Crime Science Shows was asking me if I wasn't Mike's friend already. It's a fair question, too, I guess, from the outside perspective at this point. If I wasn't Mike's friend in that sense, I should almost go back and pull that up. Would I still believe Anita? And I know where they're going with that question, inferring that somehow my friendship or history with Mike has something to do with how I'm making my videos, or what you get out of my videos, as maybe you think I think a certain way in that sense. I usually think I cover those pretty clearly, like the reason for why I'm making the video in the first place. But I guess people are always looking or making out to be, so you think this way because of what you said. There's nothing wrong with that, I guess. But first of all, I want to be clear that I haven't heard Anita make any claims anywhere at any point in time in that sense. I have always been clear in that how I came upon this information based off what people are talking about in their live streams. I'm not trying to project or pass the buck. I'm just literally trying to recount this scenario. So I'm not a pro Anita person. I've got nothing against her. And by the way, in this circumstance, there's people that show up in my comment section too, suggesting this is why it should be kept quiet and within the RCMP, and this is part of what's ruining the case. That's just wrong. It's not correct, in my opinion. Okay? Everything in this situation should be made public, considering all of the lies and deceit. It comes down to what it is that you are willing and choose to believe at any one point in time based upon what information you deem credible in the moment. You're in the dark. You're in the middle of this mystery. I recognize that. So again, I'm not in a position to sit here and tell you I want you to believe Anita and the things that she says is just such a great thing for the case. I haven't heard anything. But I've stated that I trust Mike. It's not even saying that Mike isn't or can't be wrong ever, you know? Let me reiterate, I'm not saying Mike's wrong. Now I know how the information is coming out and what's in store based upon what it is he's saying. It doesn't mean that you should all naturally just blindly believe anything. Be your own judge. It's too much. It's not even a person's intent. It's not even what a person that's making content wants you to think, usually, unless they're trying to lie to you or gaslight you. That's not what the conversation is about. Hey, if you've got even as ridiculous as Durwood has been And all of that nonsense that we've been through, that's experience, even though it was really inconvenience to people who are trying to, or expect in some sort of fantasy world, they expect that all of the information that's coming to them from the people that last saw Jack and Lily are just as, are legit and you should blindly take it. I don't think anybody is actually saying that anywhere. Mike's not, Ninchi's not, I'm not, Anita's not. Nobody says that. But all of a sudden, in these situations, sometimes in the comments, things will get twisted because they want to learn more and have a different personal connection or understanding as to what it is they think or want you to say. No matter what you say as a creator up here, usually things and expect them to get twisted, or they didn't, or it wasn't actually in context. You know, that listen, if something's out of context, the first thing that you do is point it out and clarify it. You just don't dismiss it. I'm not sitting here, hey, AI, tell me what Ninchi said. I'm analyzing your words, trying to get to the greater meaning in a more concise time fashion. It's a tool, not a magic 8-ball. And it's fantastic when you use it in the right way, meaning AI, especially when it comes to discerning and communicating a lot of information. You have to know where the potential hiccups are in that sense. Usually with AI, they come in, it's not just one place. You have to watch it because it can slip its meaning in that sense. Especially if you're doing a live stream, for example, and you're, for say, watching an interview. And then all of a sudden the AI or the Google Translate, you know how shitty the Translate is in that situation. Sometimes if the person has a slight accent in English, it doesn't pick anything up. It misconstrues things. You can get carried away in that sense too. Otherwise, from a content creator standpoint, it's a godsend. And it's so fantastic, even Google's using it from the viewer's perspective right now. You go into these live streams and it's analyzing I'm not sure if it's on all versions or it's just the beta version that I use, but you'll see after the fact them talking about, it's doing an AI breakdown or a basic summary of what your chat was about, what people were talking about and things like that, specifically in the chat, which is interesting. But no, there's nothing that I need to be corrected or dismissed. Maybe you can add clarity to it. That's always a thing. But to come back in and dismiss it in an angry fashion is taking me out of context again. The exact thing that you're accusing me of doing, Ninchi. You know, I'm not trying to one-up you. I'm not. And by the way, when I said that isn't good enough, doesn't mean that you can't go back and figure things out and say it again if you're that convinced about anything. I'm not trying to take a person's wind from them. I'm not trying to censor your voice. I'm saying for the sake of entertainment and communication and information on this channel in regards to Jack and Lily, like it or not, it's relevant. It's not drama. It's not an inconvenience. This is light and this is normal. People have disagreements all the time in that sense. But is there something more here? And an individual actually made, can I remember that person's name? And I'm not trying to simplify things or pass it off, but they made a good point. I'll just say a commenter. Not that I'm protecting anybody. I just can't remember the name. Doesn't matter. That said, and they had a good point in this circumstance. There's an ongoing rivalry for whatever reason. I'm not even going to call it a rivalry. There's just a bitterness between Mike and Ninchi in that sense. And I'm not about to be used in that sense. Technically, I didn't even have to give Mike an apology yesterday in that sense. I questioned even doing it to begin with, but it didn't fucking matter to me. I didn't mind putting out an apology in that sense, just to stroke Mike's ego, just to get conversation going in the comment section, because that's where things get fun. It has nothing to do with shit talking other people. That's the detractors. You should feel comfortable enough in your environment to be able to be open about the things that you see that, one, need improvement. And don't be afraid about how you express yourself in that sense. Demanding people take their content down. Fucking think I'm out here trying to shit talk Ninchi? No, but she's upset about it because she feels attacked because of how people go about interpreting the information that we as creators bring you in this sense. And there's a lot of fun and entertainment within all of that. There can be. But I'm not trying to attack Ninchi in any way. Quite the opposite. And I did more than a good job in saying that in pretty much any of my content. And it's never... Ninchi wanted to dismiss me like I was taking her out of context. No, I'm not. You're taking me out of context in that sense. So we're at a standstill. Hello, Kim. So I sent her that message back. I'm not even trying to make her... That's under the guise of full transparency. They love to use that term. I ain't hiding anything from fucking anybody in that sense. So probably what happened is she listened to the first little bit of that video. I should have probably edited that, but I'm like, I'm going to cut this before I go to bed. Like, why would you listen to the rest? You got enough? So she's under an illusion that I didn't actually watch her video that she made in that sense, which couldn't be further from the truth. I watch it and I take the transcript and figure out who said what and what the fuck you're on about. Fact. Encourage all employees to do that. Take notes. It helps you remember things, especially when you sit here in front of a microphone. Tool of the trade, trick of the trade, baby. Fucking roofers. I'm sitting up here arguing about fucking roofers in that sense. So what the individual, I think, was trying to get across is this whole shit started with a pre-existing animosity between two other creators. No, go have some water right now. We'll get a snack in a sec, Chair. We're okay. Hold on. Just a second. And I know no matter what I say up here, I'm just... Because I know there's a greater audience, and it doesn't matter. I'm not worried about people twisting my words. I'm more than able to sit here and hold my own in the conversation about the topic. All right, I'm not misconstrued. I've been watching and following. We're all seeing the same damn thing. Fucking sending me my own information. At first, I'm like, is she trying to intimidate me? And I'm like, no, she probably only listened to the video to a certain point because I said, why the hell would you be doing that from Australia in the first place? As though that I didn't think that they had the internet in Australia or something. And no, I love Australia and everybody in the land of Oz. Like I say, she could feel however way she wants to feel about anything. She doesn't have to believe Anita. This has nothing to do with what it is that you at home need to believe, even though your mind wants to seek that. Be very clear. But there's all kinds of people, and it doesn't matter who you are. As soon as you put yourself out here, it never seems to stop. Somebody's always up to no good. It's the nature of the beast when you're in these situations and cases. The best thing that you can do is trying to remain as in shelf state as possible because, and you see it, and it's a source of trouble, when as a creator wants to start inviting in the devil into their email inbox under the guise of information, it adds a certain level of question that comes in, right? You're testing yourself. You're putting yourself through it in that sense. And are you okay? Is that what you think I'm doing? Or am I coming across like cruelty dressed up as authority? I think I'm trying to express the exact opposite. So, like, from my perspective, I can be open to the fact maybe it didn't sound very nice. Maybe it came out not as organized as I would have liked it. But when it comes down to a debrief, listen, if you're an electrician, if you're in a situation, in any circumstance where you have to make decisions no matter what you're involved in, you're thinking a more managerial aspect. And that's all I was really trying to do. Oh, you're talking about, yeah, I just think it looked a certain way because, listen, as creators, there's a reason why people are normally motivated to get behind a microphone and get up here and either entertain or inform or seek out on a creative venture like a channel in the first place. So you get all kinds. I think Ninchi's genuine her intentions are in line. Like, I don't pretend to be an authority in that sense. I promote her most of the time. I encourage it. But I'm not going to lie to you in that sense. Not good enough doesn't mean anything other than your example isn't good enough. Doesn't even mean that means that you should now go and believe Anita because she's just like the oracle of information here. It means quiet down. I want to listen to the movie. In other words, and it shouldn't ever be directed. I don't feel it was directed at her. I was just trying to keep the reality in perspective. It's like sitting around the table with all of the other managers and telling them that you're not satisfied with all kinds of things that are going on around outside your department, right? Listen, I get it. I even understand why she sent the email. I just put it out there because at the end of the day, people love that shit. It's interesting. It breaks up the day. But am I using it to make her look bad? Listen, if you're worried about looking bad, it's on you. Fucking learn ya. I sent nasty emails too. I don't do it anymore, but the fuck ever. Then she's taking herself too seriously in that sense, in my opinion. You really are. Especially when you're sitting back here. We're all basing information off of the same thing in that sense, and we should be able to level with one another. There's no need to be hiding anything. Ever. I mean, it doesn't mean that you need to go and dox my dead dad's business. Do you know what's really funny about that, Ninchi? Is that today's his birthday, of all things. And wouldn't you know it, he wouldn't have come up otherwise if it wasn't for Ninchi, which is an interesting scenario. I'm sure he's rolling over in his grave. Well, it's actually not a grave, it's an urn. Oh, yeah. But people react in all sorts of ways. But, it's a little slice of the truth. It's a little slice of what you go through. She wasn't happy. She wants to be right in this circumstance. She's on one. Maybe she's right. Maybe there's something way back in Anita's past that's going to be pulled up and used against her. Listen, when it comes down to it, it's like, even if you're right, it's so preemptive that it just comes across as malicious in that sense. Oh, nothing cool, Jay. She was just sent me screenshots of my dad's business registration. Well, his old business. He's passed away now. But still, it was still a business. It's still a business. It's not actually in operation anymore. But maybe she didn't understand that. Maybe, I don't know I asked her, what the hell are you doing instead of me my own information for? Are you reminding me? Or are you working for the fucking government, the tax man, looking for another cash grab? But I mean, I could just fucking imagine, right? I could just imagine imagine she's all worked up. And you have to admit that, like it or not, there's some sort of animosity between Mike and Ninchi. Not that I want to rub it in their faces. Who knows what it is? I can't quite get it. It's part of the intrigue. And in the clubhouse, I just consider it healthy competition. It's like you don't have to get along with everybody in that sense. You know, it's what fires their, you know, gets them hard in that sense. Ninchi's got a hard on for this and that. Well, who am I to stop you? Don't get mad when I'm saying that I don't feel that it's enough information. Like, it's like acting like the other person's opinion doesn't matter. I didn't do that to you. I didn't do that to anybody else. I encourage the opposite. More people should be grabbing their phones or whatever and start their own YouTube channel and communicate through it this way. It's what makes what makes the greater community stronger. Esther Malone, that's a good question. Do I dare ask it? Who started this whole Anita thing? I don't know. Oh, I think it came. You know what? Do I even want to fucking go there? I know what I have a perspective. I know from my perspective how I got to know about the information. All right. So it was, from my perspective, just a little bit of an ongoing thing out there that I was trying to ignore, but it all came out at once. There's like a group of snowball of little things that all happened in either at the same time or in quick succession, and it had to do with Jordan's threats and Durwood having his interview over on another channel, his hour interview again. Oh, fucking Dateline, here we go. You know, I'm pretty sure it came out in that sense. So already people are acting and reacting and not knowing. You know, Miss K had great comments about it, I noticed in my comments section. Who's an Australian, by the way. You know, she has a good rundown about how it, you know, I haven't heard one goddamn thing that she said other than what Mike has told us in his live streams. You know, I don't know if she's out doing interviews. She might be just a compulsive liar for all I fucking know. How do I know? My point is, that's my point, Ninchi. I don't know that. But your video in that was weak. A weak assertion. Why get so insulted about it? You didn't do anything wrong. So she's taking it in a way that was ill-intended. Like, think of me as quality control in that sense. Even when you know you're right, it's not enough. It's not good enough. It's just frustration how people express it, I guess. How did Anita and Jordan ever get into a spat? That's a good question, Cool J. I had the same question when it came out. like I don't pretend to be right. I just communicate what stands out to me. You know, and that doesn't mean that I'm asking you to believe every word that comes out of my mouth. You know, we keep it real here on the channel, but I'm not trying to hypnotize you in trying to think a certain way. If anything, I encourage you to think freely and be wary and be careful, right? Usually. I mean, sometimes I guess we can have exceptions, but I didn't think Ninchi was one of them, and I still don't. But I could just imagine... Oh, shit. Could you imagine AB's official public apology to Mike Dammann? I wanted to make it look like a real... Listen, I'm going to make an apology. I'm going to give this guy the reach around. I'm going to give Mike the reach around. And, of course, it comes across as some sort of celebration. Oh, there's an exception in my live chat right now. Sweet Tea, you know what to do. Oh, shit. Fucking exceptions coming up in here. Do you know what has altered the way I watch live streams, by the way, there, Mouse? Is now, for whatever reason, you know how in your subscription section on your drop-down YouTube menu on your application, the subscriptions the ones that are live used to go to the top, and they used to prioritize the ones on that. Now it's like random. I don't know if it's everywhere or just on mine. I don't know how to get it back. Now they're just all scrambled. I've got like 4,000 subscriptions and everybody gets lost. I never know who's on live. I've got to, go about getting my algorithm a little bit shaken up in that sense. I don't think that's what Anita said there, Coop. Careful what you're putting in my chat. People start believing all kinds of weird stuff. No, in that sense, first of all, listen, she's telling us that she has given the RCMP sworn statements. Well, then, shoot, let's hear it. That's better than Durwood already. And that's a joke, but I'm not even actually using that as a real example. That's just a snide-ass joke. But it is. It's funny because it's true in a way. What's going on, Mr. Hemi? Yeah, Mr. Hemi's pretty funny in my live chat. Who's thinking that Mr. Hemi is somebody else? I guess I shouldn't be saying shit like that. People get weird things in their heads, especially when they're following their own research and have their own storyline on their channels. You get into things. Yeah, whoever thinking Mr. Hemi isn't... Mr. Hemi's pretty funny in my live chat. Or in my comment section in that sense. There's no way he could be like Daniel or something in that. People are trying to make it sound like perhaps he was. Yeah, everyone's sus of Hemi for whatever reason. Used to be like that on YouTube. Now it's half the main page is shorts. Yeah, I feel it's brain rot. It's very rare that you get good shorts. Sometimes you get into some good ones. Wait, just a moment. We got to have a snack here. Hold on. So I guess I have to change my answer to that person in my comment section. What was it? Who was it? Crime and science stories in that sense? Yeah, so I mean, no. I have to say my answer instead of depends is no. It wouldn't be any different. Because unlike you're insinuating in my live chat, I'm not telling you to go and believe Anita. Right? I'm not telling you what to do in any sense of the word. It's you that are, in this particular sense, are putting words in my mouth. You know what happens? I'm not angry. Just needs to be clarified, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you see it in the 90 Day. I was watching Natalie. Man, oh, man. What a pair that was. That's a few years old, though. That's just up there. Yeah, a little bit. Electricians are good cooks, usually. I'm not bad. I even got even better after I watched Chef Ramsay. I like to think I have. Always fresh. Usually. That's only because I live in the city. I can go to the grocery store. It's like a block away. Who are you talking about, Mr. Hemi? Who are you talking about? Let me see. Yeah, I'm out of notifications tonight, so it's going to be a low count of people. People aren't going to know I'm live. But I don't even feel guilty about it anyway. Yep. Darcy and Stacy are snatched. They're snatched. There's that word again. Did you use that word with me the first time? Snatched? Hold on. I'm going to have to define that fucking word later on to get the full effect. Yeah, Darcy and... Man. Is that what snatched means? Overdone? Like with all of that... you can't hold it against her, man. I'm like, what do you do now? You feel bad making fun of it, but like it captures my attention. I don't even know what I would do if I was in a restaurant and like Darcy walked in that sense. I'd be like, fuck, I can't look. I felt mean afterwards. I felt like regret, like I was making fun of her because I laughed so hard. But in reality, like, what is it I'm laughing at? Was that the intended effect? How long is it going to be like that? Is it going to be like that forever? Could you imagine being like 90 years old and she still looks like exactly the same and people are holding that, plastic surgeon in such high regard? Oh my God. Yeah. She just has to, inject it with like $1,200 worth of filler every couple weeks in that sense. I should be careful what brand I'm saying. Snatched means something totally different to you, Mr. Hemi. That bitch be snatched. I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know. I have to say thank you. Please, everybody's got a point in the comment section today. Like, I mean, this is the type of situation that should be talked about openly. You got, like, really, whatever animosity is between the creators out there, whether they want to believe it's our business or not, we've got to put ourselves through it. So talking about it's the best way. There's such a thing as taking yourself too seriously. Without becoming too suspicious that you have ulterior motives. And remember where you are too. There's so many people out there, and there's good scammers. There's people that you wouldn't actually think are as ill-intended when you're in it with them. Until, the incidents have long passed. And I'm not even using people like Ernie as an example. There's con men and scammers using this platform on the daily. The good ones have those bot farms. I'm not saying that's what Mike or Ninchi is. In fact, I come out and say the exact opposite. Because here's something that's rare. It doesn't. Okay. It doesn't mean that you need to believe one over the other or polarize yourself. Could you imagine if you believed every word that you heard everywhere? You should be glad that somebody's peer reviewing your shit. Somebody cares enough to tell you about something, even though that it's very rare. I shouldn't even use that here on YouTube considering where we are. But it's not like I'm up in their comment section correcting them. You want to correct somebody, go and explain it. Like I'm explaining. I'm sitting here explaining to you unedited, unscripted, uncaring, open. Like nobody's going to tell me what it is that I'm trying to do or what it is that I've done in that sense. You get that a lot here. And, you give people a lot of grace. Or you give them some grace in that sense. And I'm doing that here. Like, I'm patient. I don't expect, nor do I want Ninchi to necessarily be on anybody's side. Be yourself. Do you. But that doesn't change my opinions or feelings, even though in the moment that you might think that I'm choosing sides and like Mike Dammann better than Ninchi in this circumstance for whatever reason, which is ridiculous. It has everything to do with not censoring people in this circumstance. You've got information, out with it. If it's bullshit, then it is what it is. The fact that there's all this weird, bizarre motives at the same time for these circumstances are a side piece. It's intriguing. It's an interesting thing to observe. But it is always funny to see people react in harsh ways. Like let me be Osama or Obama. Let me be Barack Obama clear. Let me be clear. I have absolutely nothing to apologize to anybody about. That doesn't mean I can't always be wrong. Like I even said, screw it. Let's do it this way. My public apology to Mike Dammann. If that's going to get me off the ban list, perfect. That's what I did. I'm like, you know what? Yesterday, I'm up there trying to participate in the live stream and embarrassed myself because I put all of this work into communicating with everybody in the live chat, only to figure out that nobody was seeing my messages. Like, how long has it been like that? I'm like, oh, I'm starting to worry. And then he's into all of this thing about the shit that's going on in the background. It's like, you know what? Before I go to bed, I'm going to make a little apology. Like, how much work is it to go and press record? And, I'm unbanned now. I can go and talk in it. He went and checked. He sent me a message. Well, I blew him up on three different, look out, Chimmer, on 3 different platforms. Fucking so surprised. I couldn't believe it. I was in denial. I'm like, I think you might have a settings problem. Because there's no possible way this dude could be banning me. But of course it's funny, man. He's got this hard line, this hard line at any one point in time, which is probably, I don't know. You can do whatever you want, right? Who am I to say? But it's probably contributing to, a lot of the confusion that you have. Sometimes you got to wonder if it's just not easier not having anybody on the ban list in that sense. Like, people change their minds and go back and forth and get mad at a creator only to come back and watch. You try to be patient as much as possible, but sometimes, it wears on you, and it's just as easy to ban people, especially when you get so emotionally attached to a situation like this. Especially. I think Mike should clear his ban list and start again. And that goes for you too, Rex, when you're out there. You clear your ban list, even in your Beware Mouse channel. You come in here asking for a wrench. You've got me banned in that channel. And I mean all my accounts and my sock accounts. Yeah, I've seen that behavior, Cool J. I can't explain it. I think it looks a certain way from one angle, but in reality, it's just not wanting to deal with certain things that you view as an inconvenience here on the platform. Everybody's different. Like, don't get me wrong, this isn't top quality content that I'm pumping out right now. It's just, it's one of these things that I don't mind talking about, especially when it comes to me being pulled in the middle of all of this. Some people aren't in a position and don't want to be in a position to be wrong in what it is that they're saying, because it means that you're missing the rest of the things, or you're not, people don't take well to criticism. There's always hilarity in that. There's always something. Even I don't take it well. Like, there's a certain element of entertainment within that process. Anyway. You're on the internet. You know that full well. You don't ban anyone. Well, sometimes people try to come in your comments and do different things at different periods of times. And when it comes to Jack and Lily, like, they are still the priority in all of this. And you want to try to filter out malicious disinformation in real time. And sometimes there's other things that come up. Well, are you talking here or over in Mike's, Ginger, with the statement analysis? Mike's always going back over certain things. I like it up to a certain point because it frees my mind in that sense. I'm not trying to... What am I trying to say? I'm saying that in the case like this, in this circumstance, we've already heard enough. I've already heard enough. We've all figured that they're lying to us in this sense, and we've been through all of their interviews and all of this bullshit. We don't believe it. It's hard to go back over that again. There's not a whole lot of new stuff to go and analyze in that sense. Mike's good because there's always a lesson going on in that sense. It's like I give Mike the grace in that sense because it's more like a professor-student relationship because of the type of information that he's trying to communicate in that moment. Do I agree with him, Cool J, about banning based off disagreeing? I'd rather just sit back and watch it. Don't ask me to participate. I'm neither pro nor against. No, I like to treat things a little bit differently. But it doesn't mean that there aren't assholes out there in need of being banned, especially with what the things that Mike likes to talk about. If you believe in something that hard, I'm willing to hear and listen to you, whether that be Ninchi or Mike. But when it comes down to it, isn't what's happening isn't wrong in that this woman, for whatever reasons, trying to be discredited in a situation that is, at the very least, preemptive, if not malicious in that sense. That's what it's getting to. You know, and I'm not fucking stupid enough to sit here and be gaslit. Did Ninchi think that I'm going to make her an apology video as well for whatever reason because she's crying? What? I might, but it's not going to be for the reason she thinks. Get the hell out of here. One apology video is enough, especially, listen, I was about as genuine as I could have been. I was worried that he wasn't going to accept it in that sense. Because I'm like, when I had to really get to it and tell him the reason why I'm sorry, I had to realize that I'm sending an apology to a statement analysis. You're going to break it down. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, well, first of all, I know that I kind of backtracked my comments way back. Hey, Nasty. Way back a few weeks ago, but I'm pretty sure that he didn't hear it in that sense, so I had to reiterate it. That's all. It can stay up there forever. And who was telling me? Oh, Chelsea Gray. Chelsea's down in my comment section, like one of the first comments, telling me that I'm such, what an ego stroke to Mike in that sense. I don't fucking mind. I don't mind if people think I'm a huge pussy and a glazer. I'm down there glazing Mike Dammann. Oh, please send me your admiration, Mike Dammann. Heaven forbid that I actually, just mean what it is that I say. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. You guys, everybody knows this when somebody else tells you until it seems that you're in the situation. Oh, fuck. It's more funny that somebody gets so pissed off because they can't take criticism. That's a lot funnier than anything, I find. That's not what I'm trying to get from Ninchi in that sense. That's just a cherry on top. Extra content for me. Listen, it's always better that people see certain things as they are in that sense. It looks after itself. And you know what? It's not going to end in that sense. People are still going to be bitter and pissed off in that sense. I'm just wanting to clarify my little area of the internet here, what my real intention is, so you don't get it misconstrued down in my comments section. That's kind of going, I'm not putting the blame on crime science stories, but that's where that insinuation was going with me. People assuming that because for some reason that I'm already friends with Mike, that I'm taking a certain stance for that particular reason only, which is a fair comment. I mean, it's fair enough, but I think I did a good enough job, again, explaining that that's not really the case. Yeah, I do, sweet tea. We learn a lot together in that sense. We've come a long way. We learn a lot. That's why I love Mike's channel, because I learn a lot so much over there. Not because he's an all-knowing. I'm not like some sort of lovesick, barely legal porno, teen. Just waiting to get on my knees. When you're hearing information that intrigues you and leads you to, or in a state of mind that you can really start to think about things. Especially when it comes to this particular case, or better yet, situations where harm has come towards children in this circumstance. Oh yeah, just my opinion. Well, just to reiterate, again, Anita claims to have talked to the RCMP. She has a sworn statement. She's been well interviewed. Anything that she told the RCMP is free game for her to go and talk about on her own, and I encourage that. I don't want to dissuade anybody from that. Even that fucking idiot Durwood. He's playing it right. Like, it doesn't, even though the guy's a liar and it's blatantly obvious what it's doing, we wouldn't already know his intention if he didn't open his fat mouth, would we? So it's kind of a catch-22 to a degree. There's no way I want to discourage anybody from talking. The opposite. And I see people finding reason why they think that this is so detrimental to the case. What, the truth and people's opinions and speaking out is somehow detrimental to the case? What case? You're not a part of the same case the RCMP is. People can't make the distinction between the two. For some reason in the comment section sometimes. I'm sure you come across some of the comments. Don't stop leaving them. And that's always the way, little bet, because the truth speaks for itself, but the truth that we're talking about, is what gets people in trouble. The truth is what people are trying to throw shade over, to avoid. And we're in a situation like that here. There's no possible way that people need to stay quiet or not be encouraged to share their opinion. They're very courageous if they do. I would expect that they know the reason why they're coming out and saying things. But again, I feel bad. Excuse me. I feel bad in a way, but again, show me all of these places or all of these things that Ninchi or Anita, has been saying. Apparently they're out there somewhere because Ninchi's reacting to something. People are, she's got a Facebook. I haven't even looked at it, but people are telling me what's on her Facebook or what's on her business. This roofing Facebook. This little roofing war is really funny in my mind. People are correcting it. So, I mean, the point to the videos are kind of self-healing in that sense. I feel better after reading that comment section. People already are way ahead of it. Cool Jay. I guess if that's the way you look at it, it's probably more to it than that. What's that you think? I believe Brad Wong too. Fucking tried to hold Brad Wong against people as though he's not credible. I don't care what it is that you do, how fake your diamond ring is. If people don't like your makeup and they accuse you of worshiping Satan, which is even going on. Oh shit. Oh my God. Don't care. You know, I still want the information. Still take that report. You're saying Cool J. Fuck, you're going to get me in trouble, I'm sure. What's hilarious is that Ninchi thinks Anita has no credibility because she didn't owe $30. Oh, she didn't use the $30 to renew their registration, yet she believes every word of Brad Wong, who's a career criminal. Well, I'm not holding that against Brad Wong, man. Yeah, you're pointing out the hypocrisy, Cool J. I get you. I'm with you. I really had to confront my biases. Where's Mr. Hemi? I really had to confront my biases because I didn't realize until I had to go to describe it. It's like, first of all, if these people even knew me, the one time where a bias would come in handy. I don't fucking trust anybody who calls themselves a roofer. You know? I'm not even holding that against Anita because I don't want to, everybody can't be bad. It's not that simple, even though I'm, describing it like that. But I've just got such a worked up confusion towards roofers. Anybody can go call themselves a roofer. In my mind, this roofer is somebody, you call yourself a roofer when you just get out of prison or something or jail and you just started back. It's the one crew that you could probably go find and get on. We need places like that. Part of the process. But it's like, what in the fuck? Now I'm sitting up here. I'm not trying to be sticking up for Anita. Is she out there saying all of these crap things? Does it really matter? How come nobody actually knows what it is that she's trying to say? Why is it being cut off? Why is it being preemptively shooken down? And come to find out, I shouldn't say it like that. I think it has everything, or how should I say this? I think it has more to do with a certain creator's animosity towards the other. Because, one, I believe it happened with Wade Paris earlier on in the case, meaning the behavior and the questionable behavior. It's how the information came through, and even worse, that is coming through Mike in that sense. Not there's anything wrong with that. But it seems like the extra effort is going towards discredit because of somebody's seemingly disdain towards another, which is funny. Come on. You're taking yourself too serious. I don't know why you just don't open up and say, fuck, I love this guy. He's fantastic. Hit him with some reverse psychology like Daniel's doing. Yeah, it's predictable of you, Lori Green. Good to see you, by the way. It says, I personally don't believe anyone involved in this case. It's the safest side. I like Mike and Ninchi, and I ain't taking sides. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not going to be told what to do, what to say, what to like. Sue Oilers, bringing up Daylene, having Jordan threatened her. Oh, no. It sounds like they're... If you hear the information that comes from Mike, he says that Jordan and Daylene are in communication. Jordan, maybe Daylene is running after this ambulance, looking for little situations to set people up in and hook them into some sort of I shouldn't say that. He's got an interesting I don't even want to say that. I don't even know what she does, actually. She's just a person of notoriety. People know her around the case. Who knows what she really does? behind the scenes. She's probably up there massaging Kent, rubbing his feet. Yeah, Cool J. Yeah, probably. And it comes, I guess you could say that. And you're right. You like Ninchi and Mike too, but they're both going and getting a little bit wacky lately. I could see where you would say that. You coming in here with rumors, girl? Rumor was Daleen had Jordan threaten Anita, says Ginger's mom. Is that the rumor? Fuck, that's interesting. Such an evil villain up there. You think she's up there directing Jordan's hand? Maybe we're going to get these bitches. Well, she chose the wrong side. She's on the losing side in this situation. She's got a... What is she, a criminal defense lawyer in that sense? Yo, Helicopter Grandma, good to see you. What, do you got a storm going on, Helicopter Grandma? Oh, you didn't miss much. Karen Steve says, no, Daleen told Jordan to apologize to Anita. Cheryl got him to threaten Anita. Well, thank you for coming in, Karen Steves. Hey, here's an individual that people might want to recognize because Karen Steves knows Anita. Seems to know all of these personal situations, and welcome for the information. So that makes a lot more sense. Daleen told Jordan to apologize to Anita. Cheryl got him to threaten Anita. Very interesting. That's more believable. That makes a lot more sense. Well, it's not like she's coming out with groundbreaking information in that sense. We all know that they're lying, and the silence is enabling that same lie that you left out here in the public. All right, you damn well updated us. We saw a picture of your wrists, Cindy. Stop playing stupid. But that's her right. She can remain silent and ignore it and wait till the RCMP comes in and solves all of their problems like she's insisting should be happening. Part of me doesn't really blame her for that. You can understand wanting to protect your own in all of this. But again, bit of a conflict of interest because we're here for Jack and Lily and justice. And you're obviously not doing the right thing. Unfortunately, it's a tough position to be in. Yeah, Karen and Jordan apologized to Anita, told her he was drunk. Well, he always does that. That's his cycle. Damage has already been done. Your threats are already out there. Oh, I'm sorry for those, though, now. Well, took it back. Lori, why would Daleen ever be involved with those people? Who's she working for? Jordan, LOL? I don't know. Who knows, Lori? She's around. People are going to want to include her in things, whether there's truth behind it or not. Keep the lines of communication open. I'm not trying to start any rumors in that sense. Initially, her and Belinda were in communication because of her situation, wanted to become, party to the proceedings with Jack and Lily in order to stay in the loop, to gain information so it wasn't solely going to Malaya in that sense, especially. And she's got a great shot because we have extenuating circumstances in this situation with the abuse that we all recognize that was going on in Jack and Lily's life. How about we talk about that for a little while? None of this bullshit changes anything to do with the case. Nothing to do. So I think there's a natural feeling. There's PTSD. Do you know what I mean? In a sense, when it comes to what people have been through in relation to this case, with Darren Getty's coming out with what he did in the beginning and how he was used and how he lied to people, and how long it took for people to realize. Even each and every one comes to their own realization, and then the next thing they know, once bitten, twice shy, and the next person that comes out is treated with a lot of cynicism, we'll say. Is that an okay word to use, Ninchi? Can I use cynicism? Did I impress you? Not just another pretty face around here. Why? Because it's easy just to, like Lori, most of the time, most people must feel that way, that they close themselves off to certain pieces of information. Listen, the fact that I believe personally that Mike, for example, has been talking to in person with Wade and Kiki. Kiki is Wade Paris's daughter. All right. He vouches. They all vouch for Anita. I'm like, there's no reason to be preemptive about this in this sense. I don't need to bring up all of the arguments, but I trust Mike in this circumstance. Listen, it's fine. Out with the information then. Hi, be everyone. No one has touched your GoFundMe at this point, so I'm not sure where Mike would get that. I don't know what you're referring to, Belinda. Welcome in, by the way. Nobody's touched. You want to advertise your GoFundMe? You just did. Guys, go hit up Belinda's GoFundMe. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Didn't he say something about I'm going from my mind. I'm probably going to mess it up, but it had something to do with Jordan getting access to some sort of money, as though this money was eventually going to end up with Daleen. Yeah, no, that sounds flawed to me. He was just saying it in passing. I don't even want to speak for him, but I think I know where you're coming from. I told Daleen to contact Jordan to apologize to Anita. Well, thanks for straightening us out, Belinda. That's Belinda Gray in my chat, everybody. You feel like you're on the Merv Griffin show? Feel like you're on Merv? I think I know what you're saying. I don't think... my interpretation of that statement was that he was speaking to somebody that was bringing it up to him, not that he was insisting that that's what was really going on. But we should straighten it out if we're talking about it. Hey, Belinda, I believe nothing anyone is say about you or your business. Oh, well, thanks for instilling such confidence in her, Ginger. They got her paranoid that people are going around talking about her. Nobody's talking about Belinda. What business do you got, Belinda? What business are you talking about, Ginger? It's beyond understanding at this point, AB. Don't let it get to you. So even in Mike, he's open to being he's right where he wants to be in that sense. That's what I get. Like, he's getting in information that he feels relevant to his own decision making. I find that's fine. It doesn't mean that everything that he's hearing is necessarily accurate or true, or is even important that it's accurate or true. Tell me the good parts. The one thing that you've come to learn in this situation, that time in that sense, say whatever you want, time is on your side when it comes to sorting this out in the long game. Truth sticks to these situations. There's an obvious conspiracy to cover up going on. So I'm sure people are going to, it's just a reason to for people to start believing in all kinds of wacky things. Not necessarily, not in the Daniel Martel sense of the word, but coming up with their own kind of angle of things. Angle at things. You're glad Anita's come forward. It explains a lot. Yeah, Belinda. Well, I get it. I'm still anxious to hear. I wish I could agree with you, but I still want to hear. I'm still waiting to hear. It's like a movie that I haven't gone to see yet. You know? Like I know a couple of the things. I know a couple of the facts about her. That's it. She out there talking about things in a way that I should be concerning? I don't think so. Like, is there an interview that I'm missing? Thought that I pretty much get them all in at one time or another. Yeah, that's the feeling that I get, Cool J. Nobody really knows what Anita has come forward with in that sense. Just give it time. Fuck. Apparently she's opened up to Mike in the background. Well, good. Oh, Karen Steves, you don't have to do that. You know what? You will ask her to contact me. It's not necessary. I don't really have a whole lot of questions for her. I know I might sound contradictory, but I don't want to put any added stress on her in that sense. I like to stay, like a wildlife photographer to a degree. I don't like to go up and poke the gorilla necessarily. I don't like to be used. I don't like certain things about these circumstances. I like to sit here and keep the torch of justice going for the two kids who always get overlooked, trampled on, used, abused, like they were leading up to the incident that took their precious lives. Oh, she's like an Earth Angel E992 wire. So here's the exception. There's always... Come on. That's a 30-minute penalty now. Got a 30-minute penalty. You can come back in 30 minutes and ask the same question. Who is Anita? I guess it's a fair question. I guess it's a fair question, but you were meaning it in a troll sense. That's my interpretation. Why don't you go ask her if you're so eager to know? Explains what? Sweet Tea, how deep the dysfunction runs, Sweet Tea. Yeah, I appreciate that, Karen Steves. Tell her to keep it open, but I'm in no hurry to do any sort of interviews in that sense. If she feels the need to straighten any piece of information out, my email can be found in my About section. Right here. You go to this More thing. Go down here and you look for View Email Address. There it is. But I don't like doing that here because for whatever reason, the algorithm like YouTube doesn't like email addresses. Like, for example, even if it's my own email address that I'm sharing in a video, person can still come along and flag it if the algorithm doesn't flag it already, especially for advertisement and privacy and things like this. It's just a rule. That's why they got the blur tool. Just, try not to avoid visually sharing email addresses, or sometimes even web addresses can get you into trouble. The fine print, excuse me. Yeah, Belinda, I understand. Her reason for coming forward, I guess it's an okay question. She doesn't mind asking. I mean, I can relate to that. considering the situation, you know, somebody needs to be thanked in the middle for coming out and talking about things in a normal fashion. You can tell the difference between how Darren or Daniel or Janie talk about the scenario and how other people talk about the situation. Very different. Where the hell did Lori's comment go? Yeah, I got over that pretty fast. It's funny. I was worried last night for 5 minutes. Am I going to make myself look like a pussy if I put up this apology video to Mike? I don't even think that it was necessary, but I'm glad it's up there. It's my present to him. People can go and search your name and think, oh, this Mike is so credible. Look, there's other creators out there officially apologizing to him. What a great man he must be. Glad it can help out. I sell them for $5. Anybody else want one? You want me to give you an apology video, a personalized one? That's going to be $5, please. That sounds all right. For your street cred. Look, I missed Lori's statement again. What the hell? Am I not getting all of... maybe I'm not seeing it. Hold on just a sec. Belinda, anything regarding the children should be kept private for legal reasons? True. Intimate details. Anything's too much of a blanket statement. But I mean, there's already, you know, a certain element of privacy around the situation with regards to kids. That doesn't mean you can't speak out on behalf of the abuse that you know that these poor children experienced. You know, make sure that we differentiate those things. We have to encourage people to speak up. Ninchi's last video about Anita was interesting. There seems to be multiple versions of how Malaya was taken into custody, or Meadow was taken into custody by CPS. Yeah, that's interesting. It definitely contradicts Daniel and Durwood. Well, that goes without saying. What are you saying, Ginger? What are you saying? What was the... Ginger, what is the alternative to what and how? They didn't really actually explain. We don't really actually know what happened in that circumstance other than what was said that, you know, obviously they didn't abide by the rules laid out by Children's Aid. What she saw in those 2 weeks is what she's speaking out about, Karen Steves. That's interesting information. Thank you. Yeah, it's a good reminder. Because Anita says that she was involved, you know, in Meadows' situation when she came in to live with Cindy. Yeah, and there was a 2-week window. And remember, Daniel, if I remember correctly, started coming out talking about how Malaya was on the run with Meadow. And then they proceeded with this theory about, you know, it was really pushed by Daniel and Janie. Look, we picked up on it here right away. You can go scroll back in my videos or my live streams way back then. We talked about it as the info broke, and it was all directed from old Janie and Daniel in that sense. And then, of course, Durwood took over with this embellished story. Not that anybody really fell for it. In fact, I was impressed. People were more outraged because of the nonsense. Of course, you know, there's always issues, but it was intended to be that way. Yeah, Wade seems to be a good guy. Karen Charmaine put it. Oh, he put out the audio of his chat with Tint unedited. Yeah, that's a good interview. That's great timing. Even though it is kind of a sketchy way to go about getting your information, sometimes things just happen that way. But I'm thankful for the information nonetheless, especially when it comes to straight justice for Jack and Lily. And it's, no matter what, it's not going to look good in this situation. This is a horrible circumstance that we're all in. Oh, get the hell out of here. Really? Just a sec. Man, that makes me emotional, Karen Steves. Karen says, yes, AB, you're saying Anita. Anita told me when she saw Meadow, she cried. She had never seen a neglected baby before. She was thin, unable to walk, and didn't talk. Oh, fuck. What the hell? I'll take your word for it. It's just things like that are so hard to listen to, especially when it comes to a baby. Meadow, what was going on? What was the sort of mindset within the house that let things get to that level? All of the money was probably being taken up by the substances. And let me tell you, the substances that we know Daniel's on, and strong possibility Malaya could be involved in it as well, are appetite suppressants. So it's going to knock them off their own schedules. How could you then put that onto a normal schedule with children, especially when it comes to feeding them? It almost sounds like it's borderline torture. Man, it's so difficult to listen to hear. See, I can understand. I can understand where people start to have real issues, even in their own mind, wanting with the best intentions to help out and give Malaya the benefit of the doubt and be a comfortable place for her to rest. But there's some issues that need to be addressed here. Okay? This isn't something that's just going to go away. How did things get to that level, especially since they saw the kids in Easter, for example? Like, from my understanding, what was it, May 2nd? So it was 2 weeks before they went missing. Easter was about 2 weeks before, wasn't it? Oh boy, oh boy. I'm sorry to hear that. That's the type of thing that weighs on your mind, that plays on your mind in all of this. Like, that's a motivation in order to speak out on its own. Like, that would traumatize you if you're a caring individual. It would move you to the point of wanting to scream out loud because nobody's coming to the defense of these children in that sense. If you're anything like me, maybe I'm just a huge bitch. But I don't think so. I like to think that, thank you very much, Joyous. Thank you for your continued support of Jack and Lily. High five to you. Thank you for listening. And my T1000 thanks you too. Oh, shit. T1000 Terminator. I'll be back. Fucking sense of humor on nobody. What did I miss? Hold on. Yeah, Karen Steve. So if that's how she treated Meadow, her favorite child, how did she treat Lily and Jack? I mean, it's a fair question. I mean, I like to try to answer that in my own head, considering the information that you give me is true, and I assume it is. There's no reason why it's not an accurate depiction of what's going on. Like, was it something? I don't know how things went down. Was it the situation at the time that they okayed and then later came back for a more detailed follow-up interview with Malaya out of the residence, and she would still have been bullshitting at that time. You know, the Children's Aid would have seen the nonsense, the bullshit in real time, because in an interview like that, there's going to be further questions in with that, and her answers are not going to be good enough. So there's a bit of a problem with transparency, even though they might not or won't go out and keep you addressed on it. Quite the opposite. It's none of our business, according to the law. But we already know the problems that are going on, just not the details. Yeah, just a clapping seal. I enjoyed hearing that Jack Sullivan fought back. Yeah, you get that. Meadow wasn't sent at Easter, in your opinion, Ginger? Maybe she has her so bundled up all the time, it's hard to get a good look at her. But you think, you know, you want to encourage. It seems like you're doing an awful lot of caring. I shouldn't be the one to tell you what's right and what's wrong for babies at any one point in time. I just can apply my own experience. You're always trying to encourage her, especially meet those milestones, especially when it comes to walking. You want to encourage that. Not carry your baby around all the time unless you absolutely have to. What blows my mind is that, for example, Malaya is carrying the baby around, and she admittedly didn't even go look. She didn't even go search to come to the determination she couldn't find her own kids. Something else happened. The trigger to call 911 isn't legit in that situation. Fuck, I've been in the situation. Believe me, there's a trigger where it's a big step to call 911. Am I going to call 911 and admit and give up the power of this situation? Or how desperate am I? Like, you know, my daughter was a bolter when she was younger. My daughter has autism and is nonverbal in that sense. Sometimes, there's been one or maybe two times that I would put her down for bed, and she, especially when we got to a new house, she would get right out the window as I walked into the next room. I had a bit of an issue because at one place she had the freedom to do things that she wanted in a yard, and she was used to it a certain way. Fuck me. The next thing I know, when I move a little bit more downtown, she discovers her fascination for highways and fast-moving traffic. But my point with all of that is everything's fine. My daughter's behind me driving me nuts right now, trying to get another snack out of me. But the point is unfortunately I've been in that situation and understand how horrible that feeling is in a parent's stomach of having to call 911 and say, I can't find my daughter. But if you're me, like, I think, yeah, I'm going to say it happened probably 5 times throughout my life in that sense. But I got to the point of I just call and I knew what to say. I'd be like, hey, did anybody call in with a report of a nonverbal autistic person perhaps running in traffic? That's actually about 3 out of the 5 times what happened in that sense. My daughter gets out of the window, runs down the sidewalk out into the middle of traffic. Holy fucking shit. And of course it sounds a lot worse than it is. But there was a good Samaritan each and every time that called 911 and reported it. One poor woman was in tears, for crying out loud. Not pleasant experiences in that sense. But, like, you know, It's what you have to go through sometimes, especially when it comes with children with autism or special needs, or comes with the territory. Doesn't make it okay. Actually, I haven't even got that screen fixed. She just grew out of it. But it's that feeling that I'll never forget in the pit of your stomach. There's a trigger. It's like, fuck. It was worse the first time on me. The fifth time wasn't so bad. I'm all talking about myself. It's all about me, isn't it? Shit, I used to do that to my parents' helicopter grandma at the Eaton Center in Toronto. It happens, and I almost had a heart attack in a shopping center. Turns out my youngest son, who's now 36, was hiding under a clothes rack. Well, were you, MBM? Where were you? Yeah, well, bringing all this back home to Malaya's reaction in all of this sense. Like, she didn't want to talk about any of that. Like, it was just instinctual. Oh, something else is going on, honey. We can't forget all of the finger pointing early on going on between the two. Like, when a person decides to do that, you know something else is going on. In fact, it's not just the incident that took poor Jack and Lily's lives. Oh, shit. A little bit. Oh, your heart literally clumps to your throat. Oh, yeah, there's your heart reference. Like Janie, only yours is more accurate in a sense. You lost track of one at the Avril Lavigne concert. A 6'7" security guard handed her back. That's good to know. Holy shit, thank God. Oh, we got a system now. We've got a system. AB, when my daughter ran off, panic struck. Holy fuck. A couple times I was really embarrassed at looking back, Karen Steves, just how traumatizing it was. Like, I still have PTSD from it. I'll even share with you. Do I want to share a story with you that I'm not proud about? About residual PTSD? Maybe it's representative of just how horrible of a dad I'm equipped to be. So, earlier on. Now my child's an adult. Now I've been through it. I can, recollect. I got trying to deal with the disability and trying to figure out my daughter never wants to go to sleep. She doesn't understand going to bed and routine and going to sleep. She stays up all night. So it was impossible for me really to get a good night's sleep in order to get up to go to work the next morning in that sense, because she wouldn't not settle down, we'll say. Till I had to go in there and just lay with her until she fell asleep. It got her in that routine. That's how I finally solved it. But it wasn't easy. Not as easy as you would have thought, or at least I didn't think it was easy. I just thought, I'm trying to figure things out as I go too. Just poorly equipped at the time until you figure it out. Anyway, but point is that my sleep was so disrupted. One morning after I put my daughter on the bus to go to school, okay, the bus comes and picks up my daughter, put her on the school bus, come back, and I'm like, I'm going to sneak in like a 2-hour nap because I was up all night. It was probably a week after she had just gone missing, and I had a nightmare. It was more of like a lucid dream. I'll call it a lucid dream. And I woke up out of that dream with 911 dialed on my phone. I reported my daughter missing because I went through that in my mind, and I thought, I was confused over the state of mind I was in. when I awoke from this lucid dream, called 911 and reported my daughter missing because she didn't come when I called, like totally, forgetting that I just put her in the bus. Yeah, I'm not a complete idiot. I just woke up. So I felt like a fucking idiot. I felt so fucking stupid. The cops come racing to my fucking house. Looking in all over my place. Start from ground zero. All of a sudden, like maybe 25 minutes, I turned to the officer and I'm like, listen, I just remembered I put my daughter on the bus this morning. She's okay. She's at school. Oh my fucking God. That really happened. I'm not proud of it, but I bring it up because of the fact that it was PTSD. I was so fucking paranoid about my daughter getting out. Like, it's happened so much and it's given me such stress in that sense at the time that it forced me to do that. I was having a dream about it at the time, and I went and called the cops on myself, reported my kids missing. The cops couldn't even fucking believe it. Fuck, Children's Aid came. I had to explain it to them. Oh shit. Well, it was a legitimate lucid dream. Like, I was literally in the dream and I said the word dream in the dream, right? Like, I was cognitive that I was in a dream state, but it didn't translate well. Like, I went into a full panic mode for whatever reason because of what happened the week before. Yeah, so anyway, I'm such an idiot. Did the cops reach out in the hamster cage? No, but they had to go and call the school and make sure my daughter was in class to satisfy their to put some sort of closure to it. I'm like, listen, I don't know what to say. I explained exactly what I just explained to you. But I didn't bring up PTSD. Like, I look back on it now and I can recognize that it was a post-traumatic stress that forced my hand in that situation. I was vigilant. I was a little bit too itchy finger on the 911 call in order to report my daughter missing. Like, imagine how all the cops are looking at me, like some sort of serial killer, like it's the worst feeling in the fucking world. It's like shit, because it's very difficult to try to convince a cop in the real time how honest you're being. Like, listen, so when you report your kid missing, like, this is a serious thing, right? Everybody stops. Like, the people continue to come until they're found. Anyway, everything was okay in the end. They didn't investigate me, but because there's a child involved in this incident, the cops recommended that they come by and maybe see if there isn't some sort of services that I needed because I seemed to be overwhelmed. Maybe, like, I'm not overwhelmed at all, but I could use lots of things. But of course, it's just protocol in that sense. So never feel embarrassed. That's a pretty shitty fucking story. But everything is okay. The Karen Steves, your grandfather was on the same heart medication that effed him up. He'd wake up out of sleep and see people on the neighbor's roof, call 911 and tell them a break-and-enter was in progress. Yeah, I guess cops get all kinds of calls like that. Helicopter Grandma, I have PTSD for an abusive husband and not so nice childhood. It affects us. Yeah, well, what I guess I'm getting at is that, I'm not trying to take away, I'm sorry that happened to you, Helicopter Grandma, is that there's more types of trauma in that sense I discovered, than something really bad happening where you just think that, it's something that somebody else has. You don't understand how these stressful situations can cause trauma, even with you as a parent in these circumstances. Maybe it's just tells you how much of a pussy I am, like how much it affects my situation. I'm just I guess I'm opening up to tell you how, sometimes we feel empty. Like I was really, I had to learn to roll with the punches when it comes to raising a child with a disability because of one, how I was raised. And, it taught me patience and still doesn't go perfect. Yeah, Jen R., it wasn't a normal reaction from any of the meeting Daniel, Janie, and Malaya. Yeah, they bailed. They gave you a sub story and now want to pretend that there's nothing important, no information, nothing else happened around there, even though that something obviously did. We all know something did, and they don't want to talk about it. And yeah, that has everything to do with what happened to Jack and Lily, unfortunately. There's no fucking way they're getting away with this. No way in hell. Something obviously is going on with Malaya. What is that? We don't know. But, she was in I guess it's not, it shouldn't be an excuse, but she was in a hell of a relationship in a living situation based upon, Daniel. You hear that behind me? My daughter's all of a sudden listened to all this rock and roll music. What happened to Barney? Let's listen to Zombie. What the hell's going on back there? Can you turn that down a little bit, Cher? Yeah, Jen Nova. I'm with you. Like, what really happened to Jack and Lily? We're going to find out. And we're going to get it from the people that were last seen with Jack and Lily. Actually, no, it's not. Yeah, it's a Cranberry song, Sweet Tea, but somebody else is singing it. Don't know who it is. She's back there rocking to it for whatever reason. Oh, it's probably, you know what it is? It's probably a short she's watching. Hey, Catherine. Good to see you, Catherine McClure. Had a hell of a day in the ER, 13 hours with your sister. Yeah, what are we complaining about, eh? Looking forward to chilling now and listening to your channel. Oh, Catherine, well, thank you for joining us. 13 hours in the ER. Things aren't getting any faster, are they? God darn it, I'm not looking forward to getting any older. A little bit. It gets worse with the music. Yeah. Well, actually, I'm happy with anything that she listens to. I've been listening to a lot of Barney, dude, throughout my life. In fact, I like him. I love Barney tunes now. There was a time where I couldn't stand it. Way back when my daughter was just a baby, I grew into liking it. Now we sing with each other. You got to give it up and be childish yourself sometimes. Not take yourself too seriously. Princess, I don't like to think about what happened. Just the leakage makes me think it was rather not to think about. I get that. I get Princess. Again, to reiterate, as bizarre as it, justice doesn't need to know all of the gory details in order to hold them accountable in this situation. So, it's going to get there one way or the other. They can choose to stay silent on the stand. You can speak for itself. You're refusing to cooperate, Mr. Cooperation. Not so transparent now, are you? I'm expecting, I don't know. It's difficult with Malaya because she's chosen to clam up, which in of itself speaks to culpability of some level in my mind and in the situation. It's just so much easier after you know all of the crap that Janie and Daniel have come out and said. That speaks for itself. Yeah, Karen, those two are still in contact? That's cool. On what the phones the cops gave them? Yeah, I get that feeling. Partners in crime in that sense? Yeah, it's looking like that. Well, it definitely looks like that. Like, especially from the first day. And as far as Malaya's concerned, that's where it's left. The words that she told that the RCMP in the camera, that's her angle. She said nothing else. Except for those, people speaking on her behalf in that sense, which is ridiculous. I get put off by that, even though I shouldn't. It's just me getting too attached to things. Yeah, that's what people were saying. Daniel sending her money while Anita was there. Yeah, it's just a further extension of the control Daniel has over her. Nothing like slipping her a few $100s to keep her. It's like pimping your hose. It's like, you got to keep them reliant on you. It's a form of manipulation in that sense. Well, they'll both be going down, and I've got no doubt. Yeah, controller child support, Mr. Hemi. Yeah, good point. Yeah, you're bringing up a point. Hard to say. Hard to say what his intention was with it. I mean, does it bother me that they're in contact? I asked myself that. I don't know that it does. Like, I mean, it doesn't make you. I don't know what to say about that. I don't really hold it against them. Like, you guys want to talk, there's no rule against, I guess, is there something saying that they shouldn't be in communication? There's no order or anything. I mean, we would expect it to a certain degree, especially what Daniel's facing, those SA charges. Like, here's $400. Can you get up there on the stand and say that this shit isn't true just for the sake of me not having to be on a registry? Like, how much money is it going to take? I mean, I don't blame them for that. Like, this is out of their control. They're trying hard to keep it maintained within their control, trying to downplay what information that they've already given up to the RCMP and retract on it. Fuck, they're holding you accountable, Danny. You're asking Malaya to get up on the stand. It makes sense. I mean, the only person that can maybe help you and speak to your character to try to minimize whatever's coming your way would be Malaya. We don't know exactly how this is going. What's going on, Chelsea? Yeah, she spent no money on the child in that shopping spree. Oh, fuck, man. Like, yeah, they don't do a good job in that sense. Man. Going a bit, get yourself. Fuck, he's out there worried about what his ex-old lady's going to be wearing. Meanwhile, he's got the same old fucking tap-out shirt on. Still got that rusty old chain around my neck, girl. Here's looking at you, kid. So in love with you, girl. Such a great mother. We got to fight to get Meadow back in this circumstance. I don't think that that's actually true. I think that that's probably more of an excuse to avoid other questions in the moment, to account for their behavior or how they have to deal with things in the moment. I'm starting to believe that this if what Anita is saying and this Karen is saying is true about the state of Meadow, that speaks to a lot. Like extended periods of malnourishment. Oh, man. And the rickets allegation. Hey, Esther. Yeah, Vivalda, that's a good point, too. Thank you for reminding me. It's the principle of it, too. If you did do something to the children, Jack and Lily, why would you ever even consider communicating with them? Yeah, really. And by all accounts, he did. We're pretty satisfied with that. Or he's just as responsible in all of this. So, man. It reminds me, like, to think that maybe she's suffering from battered wife syndrome to a degree, or learned helplessness. But what's coming forward is her taking more of an active role in this conspiracy to cover up what really happened to Jack and Lily, because there's no way that the story that they gave anybody is valid. It's ridiculous. That's what it comes all back to. Now Malaya's got a couple cuddle buddies there championing this false narrative on her behalf. You guys really need to be visited by Children's Aid in that sense. There's something in the orders. What happened to my chat? Yeah, Grove Cat. Back to the beginning. Three adults were there, and 3 are responsible for what happened. Yeah, I believe that too. Remember, there's the incident that we believe happened to Jack and Lily that took their lives, and then there's everything else afterwards. Who's Angeline, Lucy? When Angeline mentioned in her interview that Lily was staring at her food, that made me sad. She probably was very hungry. Oh, kids are always hungry. Kids can always eat. Always something. They're always picking through the cupboards, looking for more, especially sugary things. I've noticed. It never stopped. It's like cleaning. Let's say this, Helicopter Grandma. JM was there living on that property. How could you as a step-grandmother not see it and care? JM and DM don't even say their names. Janie called Meadow it in a video. I think it shows just how badly they want to distance themselves from whatever happened to those kids in that sense. And at the same time, try to justify how bizarre and unusual the living circumstances had become out there. And at the same time, put blame onto somebody that isn't themselves in the moment. It tried to trifecta of things. The fact that you're in that situation doing it would suggest that you're guilty of something we've yet to figure out. That's acting guilty, dude. Or let's just say, let's be nicer and say the opposite of innocent. If we just call the RCMP, something happened, just leave it up to them to figure out what happened. Let us know when you figured this out, guys. Why did you call in the first place? What exactly was it that made you call? Oh, okay, Vivalda. Maybe. You could be wrong, but one of the two ladies that were interviewed on Malaya's behalf, wasn't her name Angeline? I'm not sure what her name was, but I know who you're talking about. We'll call her Angeline from now on. Oh, so such a beautiful name, Angeline. Janie's so open to say how the children depended on her. It's like the trust fall game. She would be the one to watch you fall and blame you for not putting your hands out. That gave it trust, yeah. Acting class. That's the first exercise in acting classes. You have to trust your partner. Well, they were busy. Ginger's mom, how could Janie and Earl not notice their grandchild wasn't thriving? I don't know. I mean, the more that I learn about the situation out there, the more I wonder. Like, it doesn't seem like a very nice environment to live in. Like, why were they so anti each other, and how did they become that way? Yeah, a lot of it well, here's our answers. Are the drinking, the rug abuse, mathematics are all a factor in all of this. I have to keep reminding me that supersedes any sort of rational explanation. It was a major factor in everything. There's your answer. Chaos, disorganization, confusion, anger projected onto others, combined with not having anything to do. No common goal. Not like there's a real easy answer or solution for these things, just observations, right? These are things that I look forward to getting to learn. Getting to learn the truth about the fate of Jack and Lily is a very important piece to this justice. Yeah, Mr. Hemi, they didn't notice because they were likely smashed all the time. Well, their priorities were elsewhere. They were distracted. There was no co-parenting going on, it sounded like. There was just tolerating and dealing with the environment in the moment. Sadly. You can't convince me that this was a loving environment for Jack and Lily. That's a problem. Oh, Vivaldo, that's generous. Congratulations, Snarky Pants. You'll be snarky up in my chat. Yeah, Karen Stevens, these are the things that are being brought up. Violence, poverty, generations of abuse, incest, and addiction. And let's not forget silence. People are breaking the cycle in that sense. And I believe Anita's doing that inadvertently just by coming out and speaking. Karen says, yeah, incest. Man, that's going to have to be another episode. I fell asleep. Actually, there's some good things I fell asleep to last night. I listened to what did I listen to last night? I couldn't sleep last night. I listened from midnight all the way right till I got up around 5:30, 6 a.m. when I made that video about Ninchi. Not about Ninchi. Attacking Ninchi. I was attacking her. No, when I made that video this morning, I was listening to the lineage of the most inbred royalty and the history of the Habsburgs and the marriages between the Eastern Habsburgs and the Spanish Habsburgs in that sense. You know, for a good part of 1,000 years, incest was just how they kept on to power. It was so normalized. And they described the effects of it and how these lineages came to an end and all of the problems with the babies in that sense and the parents. And it's usually uncles that marry like 14-year-old girls, and these poor girls, these Habsburg girls, when they would be spoken for and people would be talking about and sexualizing them as young as 5 years old in that sense. And this is how they do business. When your child's 5, we're going to arrange this marriage with your uncle who's going to be 40 years your senior. And could you fucking imagine? Yeah, that's how they kept their power. The Girl of Cat. All up until World War I, they had to put the kibosh on that. When Franz Ferdinand was assassinated in what is it, Sarajevo, in Serbia. Oh, fuck, it's amazing how much gets absorbed in there when I'm listening to it. But no, it's interesting. It's hard to listen to because you think, holy, these poor women were just, I guess from my perspective, generations of abuse, sexual abuse and incest in that sense. Was the flavor of the day with these individuals. Fucking disturbing, anyway. Earl reminds you of that demon bald man pastor in Poltergeist. That old lady in the front door, knocking on the front door, creeps me out. You know that weird old lady with the weird look? When the entity comes out of the TV. I used to really think that was possible when I was a fucking kid. That really bothered me. It traumatized me. Probably watched that movie too young. Like, holy fuck. Tripping me out. Yeah, Joyce, you read about that too? Well, now that I mentioned it, might pop up on your algorithm on your home screens. But I recommend listening to it. They're usually about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Not the AI read ones. There's people out there who read through it. There's a couple channels that specialize in just that. For somehow, I found them. Well, you know what? I'll just let it come out. I'm not going to push that topic, Karen. The fact that it's out there and it's a factor is enough for me right now. I don't want to be the one that spills the tea on that. It's a bit awkward. Feels a bit, even though it's probably important to talk about, but I'll just let some time pass before that happens. I'm not even trying. I'm just trying to avoid being awkward. I'm going to have to go read about it, get over it, and then prepare myself to talk about it. Or else I just react, and then people get their different ideas in their head. Whoa, what the fuck are you telling me that for? Gross. A lot of that is unnecessary. I'll spare you guys from that nonsense. Yeah, it's just dirty. Yeah. A lot of it really makes you feel all kinds of different ways, and it's usually directed to extreme sadness at the end of it in that sense. Even as much fun as we have talking about Daniel and Logan being kissing cousins, that's all just for the sake of shit talking in that sense, right? I mean, listen, there is no possible way that I'll be issuing any apologies to Janie, Daniel, or Malaya anytime soon. I'm not an idiot. We've gotten here and we have realized the truth up to a certain point, and we realize and know when it is that we're being lied to. That's fair game. So it's different in my mind. I can't attack it the same way, in the same jovial manner. Because you don't want to be sitting up here laughing at somebody else's trauma, somebody else's abuse in that sense. But it's worth talking about if it really is a factor. You know, I mean, it's just sad, and most of us can relate to how undervalued it leaves our family at the end of the day, looking back, and just how unaware we or anybody else is of things as they happen in real time, until often long after the fact. And there's a reason why it's easier for people to stay quiet. But unfortunately, they've got a real monkey on their back here with this case and this Jack and Lily situation. There'll be no staying quiet in the circumstances. That's unfortunate. Everybody has every right in the world to talk about this scenario, and they need to. They should. Jack and Lily didn't deserve what they got. Vivaldi, yeah, excuse me. I think it comes with the lowered inhibitions, and you just lower your standards. Think about what your beer goggles are. But I mean, there comes a threshold, the point of no return, where, yeah, you're right. Vivaldi's saying when there's a lot of drinking and rugs going on, her experience, there's a lot of S relations going on with everyone. What else are they going to do out there in the middle of nowhere? Well, that's everywhere, technically. Humans fuck. People screw. Yeah, it's a big motivator for people to get together. And yeah, it's fantastic. There's nothing better than having a good time and topping it off with another good time after that. That's just the nature of things. It becomes a problem when people want to incorporate that into all day, every day, their lifestyles. There's a lot of denial that goes along, a lot of manipulation. There's never any reason to take your anger and rage out on kids, to use somebody else's kids in that circumstance. Oh, it's just so many things wrong here. Yeah, Helicopter Grandma says, I think what happens to me is that I love my sons, my daughters-in-law, my grandson, my stepsons and step-grandchildren, and I can't understand how nobody would. That is what breaks my heart. Yeah, you got the Jerry Seinfeld mom syndrome. How can nobody like you? Me, sadly, I don't even want to say that too much. I can relate to both sides. I can observe both ends of it. I can understand what it feels like to be illegitimate or deemed illegitimate, to be looked at as different because you're, adopted, you're some sort of troubled kid, a project, anything but just a regular normal child, and how it affects and how different you get treated than blood relatives, for example. That's a thing. Not enough credit goes to the great parents out there. There's a lot of them. Where they are, I can never find them. I wish I had them. So, you ever go through that as a kid? All your parents' friends seem so cool and so much better. And even looking back now, everybody else's parents, even now, especially now I know why I felt that. I'm happy that I could have been a lot worse growing up. But, kids are never usually we could all say it, but it's so often it happens that they're never put in priority in that sense. Bit of an understatement, I guess, but Ginger, Anita, and Wade have talked to the RCMP. Everything they know and saw, they told. That makes me feel better, Karen Steves. Yeah, we got to remember to say that every now and then, because people that don't know, and there's lots of them that don't understand, get confused with the information that's coming out, and first thing that pops into their mind is well, did the RCMP know? And, unfortunately, it's something that we should probably repeat so you don't have to keep going through the same old routine. Yo, Deb Mundorf, good to see you. Yeah, Helicopter Grandma, you didn't have a good childhood or marriage, and I swore I would never let my sons grow up to be that way. Yeah, I did the same thing. I definitely deal with being a parent in a completely different way with that sense of feeling. I had a lot of those feelings when I was a kid. When I get older, things are going to be a little different. First, I'm going to treat you like shit. I can't wait. That led to problems. That led to problems with me and my dad. My dad was didn't really care that much to be a parent in the first place. It was something that my mom probably made him do, right? So my dad sent my mom way back in the 70s when I was just a wee little guy. My dad sat down and wrote my mom a great big letter telling him how jealous he was that I was receiving all of this attention and there is none left for him. Like, that really happened. That really fucking happened. Oh my God. My mom just said she disregarded it and went on with her life. So it was always been an issue in that sense. Yeah, it sounds very narcissistic. Everybody makes mistakes in that sense. Not my dad was a horrible person. It's just that, and listen, it comes from, listen, way back in the 70s when my dad is like, okay, Marilyn, they can't have kids. Then they go to the Children's Aid and they adopt. Guess who they get? Me. Fuck, they adopt me of all, So it's not like going through the experience of your wife being pregnant and you're bonding with a little piece of yourself. It's just the stork dropped you off in the front porch and we've got to deal with you for the next 18 years. And here's how it's going to be. Oh, shit. Part of me envies them, but it's just life, dude. You've got to grow a sense of humor. It's not like my dad was a bad person in that sense. To me, sometimes he was, but he's a good person all around and to every other, and I appreciate things. Even though he's convinced that I never appreciated anything, we can never get to that point of communication because I was so bitter over how I felt I was being treated in that sense. But could never actually communicate that to anybody. Can never, and I didn't. I chose silence because it was a way that I could shut down the conversation. It was a piece of power to me in an otherwise powerless situation, being able to refuse to talk in that sense. On one hand, you never get anywhere. On the other hand, you get what you want and avoiding having to deal with the shit that's awkward in the moment. Right? So you never really grow. It's a thing. I'm off topic. Oh yeah, Jordang7749's in here. Are you trying to come in here? You come in here and try to dox me? I'm close to Stratford. Well, I'm not. You over there watching Ninchi or watching my video? It's okay. People know where I am and who I am. It's not like I'm hiding it in that sense. I love when people try to play that card, though. Oh, it's because they first of all, it always happens because they don't know that I'm advertising. Don't know I have a business. You're not going to do anything to me in that sense. It doesn't intimidate, It doesn't impress me. But I think Ninchi was just doing it because I said a comment in the video. I was a little snide. I gave her all of the information. I talked about it in the video. So it's not like you're, exhibiting any sort of great research skills in front of me. But I don't think that's what she was doing. Even though it can look like a certain thing. Speaking about smoking a joint, thanks for reminding me, dude. I should have a little bit of one. What do you mean that's gross, AB? What are you talking about? What did I say? What did I say? I'm on it now there, Jordan. Oh, Robin Edwards, you're still trying to figure out why Ninchi has her knickers in a knot, LOL. Well, do you know what? Where I am right now is I think that, who is that individual? I got to refer back to the individual that reminded us in the comment section. I'll have to go pull that comment later and make a video about it. Because really what's going on is a much deeper animosity towards, or between two different creators that's running over is what we're experiencing. And fuck, Ninchi's trying to flex. Good luck. You're flexing on anybody around here. But I mean, I'm cool. Fuck, I'm no different. No different than it was earlier. Well, I don't know, but you keep looking for something, Lori Green. If this lady knew youngsters in Malaya's family were being abused, did she report it? Answer is, I don't know. Is that her job? Well, what are you going to fucking hold this against her now? I didn't even answer your question, Robin Edwards. Hold on. Where was that again? I'm still trying to figure out why Ninchi has her knickers in a knot. Oh. I think it comes down to the animosity, whatever animosity is going on that was existing between two creators. She doesn't like, especially that the information was coming through Mike. That adds to it. Not like it's any of my business, but, yeah, ball sack's just a clapping seal. Hey, you know it. You know the area. But, it happens. I'm not trying to paint light, but they've got there's a competitive spirit between them already. Yeah, do you know what? You know what's really funny about all of this? Part of me wouldn't change it for the world. It was an inconvenience to become a single father. Immediately because of how intertwined I was with family business. But now that it's all said and done, I realize I'm a pretty good dad at the end of the day. Even though, at any one point in time throughout the last 18 years, you could have questioned that. That I could have done it differently, but I wouldn't change the experience for the world. And I've learned so much, especially about disabilities, more about people. A lot about myself. But when it comes to parenting specifically, I could do it. I'd love to do it. I love being a parent. It was a lot of fun. Which isn't something that I could have described about myself before 18 years ago. Not compared to what I am now. In fact, my ex called me a horrible role model and a shitty parent. And it wasn't exactly true. It wasn't exactly true back then, but it stuck in my mind. I fucking showed her. I told her. I told her I was a good parent in that sense. But maybe not to her at the time. I can understand that, but I've grown since then. Now, I wouldn't mind. It it's having a family is so important, and having these loved ones. It's such a precious life, and enjoying it. It brings so much value and richness to your life. It's to truly be experienced. Now, as for other people's kids, that's different. Oh, whatever. I'm just being a smartass. But yeah, I want to do it again and again and again. The problem is that I've isolated myself away in the last 10 years, like away out of society, in order to achieve that growth. I probably could have multitasked a little better. But, it's not exactly an easy thing to go and achieve at, almost 50 years old, for F's sakes. I'm that old. I'm still young. But my boys are still swim. I'm still good. Maybe I need one of those like 90-day fiancé scenarios. I'd only be doing it for the show anyway. It wouldn't be genuine. What else is there to do on this earth? The hell are you supposed to do? There's always Facebook dating. You fucking gonna rub that in on me? No, I got to avoid that shit. Avoid that nonsense. You know what? Maybe I'll have a weak moment and join. No, I'm just kidding. I couldn't do that. I wouldn't even do that. I don't even want to go into that grind. You know what I mean? I have to, the answer to that is getting out and being active in the community, just doing your thing, not look for it. Meeting somebody because of just how things are. Don't force it. Don't go and try to sell yourself to other people in that light. I just think it's so cheap. It should be a lot easier than that. My problem way back then, you know what the difference is way back then? If you were to ask anybody else, they would say this is my drinking habits. You think I'm an asshole now. You think that I'm sober. Yeah, I smoke the odd endo and the stickiest of the icky, all these Philly blunts, but I don't drink alcohol. When I used to drink alcohol, I would get into these like super not give a shit asshole modes. That's really, I think, what turned some people off in that sense over time. You know how that goes? You know how that goes. I wasn't, I was just an idiot. It bothered people. It bothered some people. It didn't bother me much. But people want to not see, I guess, how do you learn? I'm the one who acted the fool, But now I don't drink. It's been over 10 years. I'm so different in that sense. Now that I can see it. Yeah, I like that there, Cowtown. Cowtown is in my chat saying, I lurk and never comment. Well, I appreciate you nonetheless. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. But if anyone has proof that M and D are truly in contact, then that needs to be turned in, because that would definitely be a breach of D's conditions due to his charges. You put it out there, man. I don't disagree with you. Amy Pest, like Jordan kind of an idiot? No. I don't think so. I just didn't have a limit, right? And it became more of a lifestyle. It was more, technically I never had to stop. Yeah. Alcohol wasn't made for me. No. No, but there was some incidents. There's some incidents, let's say. But I never saw it as a problem because of how I was raised. You want to talk about these things like generational abuse and alcoholism and how it weaves itself into the family. Think about, like, way back in the 70s and 80s, it was normal in my family, like it or not, to drive with beer between your legs and no seatbelt and tour around like for countless hours in the country. It was normal to do all of these bizarre things. And when you grow in that, sometimes, well, in my case, the people that I looked up to, who were great people and good individuals and humans, but we're engaged in really bad habits. You are so, it just, I didn't see it as faux pas, so I made decisions that I probably would grow to regret later on in life in that sense. But it just comes from growing, not knowing, being immature in that sense. Smoking in the doctor's office, Amy. Yeah. On planes. Oh, you've ever even... Yeah, I do remember the good old days. Fucking discriminating against smokers now. It just seems so contradictory. Now they've got all kinds of different legal ways to kill you. And they can even talk you into doctor-assisted suicide here in Canada. Imagine. I'm not saying, I guess I'm dating myself. I don't want to sound like that's a real excuse. It's an important factor in growth, and it affects your decision-making down the line in that sense. It did mine. But now I'm not even that bad. It's impossible for me to be a bad role model. Because I still have PTSD from that stupid comment my ex-wife told me. The things that rattle around in your head sometimes, right? Just despite, I didn't quit. Like, even to this day, it's hard to describe that because I didn't quit. I guess it's such a paradox because I just quit smoking and drinking because of spite. After that message, I'm like, you know what? You know what? You're going to pull this gaslighting shit on me behind my back. I'd found out she was being dishonest to people in order to make herself look good, justification in order to leave. She's a real narcissist. That's another story. Not my problem. But she used the alcohol as an excuse. And I'm like, oh, that's a cheap fucking out, considering all the good times we had. But, looking back at it now, I can understand it and relate to it a lot more. Because I wouldn't have wanted to be around me. I don't like to hang around with people who are drinking and loud and obnoxious. When you're drinking, you don't think that you're loud and obnoxious. So I can understand that part. Now I'm annoyed by drunks. I've come full circle. I don't want to be around it because it's annoying. But I remember days that I couldn't, I couldn't miss the weekend because of what was going on. Gonna have to go dancing on the dance floor, macking chicks, being all kinds of things that you wanted to be and saw on TV. Yeah, man. I don't miss those days. Fuck, I wish I didn't get taken up with all of that. How many opportunities could I have been happy and settled down with all kinds of fantastic girls who treated me nice? And I was just living life like it was a Snoop Dogg video. That's one way to say it. Whatever. Stop going on about myself. Daniel is bi. Where the heck did I hear that, Bonnie Randall? Yeah, the drugs made him bi, of course. It's the mathematics that made him ambiguous in that sense. He's like a Prince video. Yeah, I don't even want to be up here saying that, Bonnie, but that's funny. Where did I hear that? Maybe it was over on Mike Dammann's. Who's he bi with? Jordan G? You could be starting rumors and things like that. I don't know. Anybody's probably advertising on Craigslist. In code. Probably geocaching, some gay websites. Grindr. He's got his geocache. You can come and out and meet him for a Nova Scotia glory hole out in the middle of Lansdowne. Some cold fucking shit. They've got all kinds of locations already teed up on platforms where you can just, subvertly go and meet up for rendezvous. You guys ever watch these on YouTube? All of these predator hunts and things? Probably what he's doing. Why would it be different anywhere else? It's not different in Nova Scotia. If anything, it's more friendly. Anastasia in Cleveland says, I'm buying. There ain't no way. Well, how are you? Wait, you're not a dude? It's okay now. It's 2026. Don't ruin geocaching for EAB. I don't know. I'm just putting it together. That's kind of how it goes. Maybe he was trying to establish himself a bathhouse there in Garlock Road. The bathhouse. Maybe that's what Jordan's building. I'm not... Thruples. That's right, Anastasia. Don't even get me started. Oh, you got me triggered to go and watch that now. There's a thruple on 90 Day Fiancé. I just can't remember their names. Thruples. Oh, so cringe. All of these hypersexualized agendas. Why is it always about fucking sex? Did you guys just be happy? It's 2.5 hours. Friends, it's 10:30. Hopefully, we giggled along together tonight. Thanks for coming over and hearing out this conversation. There's nothing really going on in the back. People are all up in their feels. It's just another day on the streets of YouTube, y'all. And yeah, guys, don't cancel people out. Go and watch them. Now is interesting times. There's interesting developments happening in the back. Forget about it. But I'm going to get the hell out of here and get ready for bed at a reasonable time tonight. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll leave you with a little bit of G-Funk.
Ba-ba-ba-ba.